Well, we just got Buttercup as a rescue 3 weeks ago, and she's an amazing dog, but prior to this she was used for breeding, so she hasn't really been a pet before, so she has a few kind of rescue wrinkles, as the shelter called them, that we kind of need to have a little bit of help, I think, sorting out. We're also first-time dog owners, so it's a good chance for us to be trained as much as her.
Yeah, I would say. For me as well, she's quite scared, wary, I'd say, of men. Like, it took me 2 weeks before I could even take her out of the house and walk her by myself. She'd hide under the bed, she'd flinch. She still does flinch away from my touch. I don't know, so I have to, and when I'm walking her by myself now, she's always it's not an easy walk ever. She'll dig her heels in, she'll stop walking, she'll want to go back to the house. I really have to sometimes I make her sit for a while, and that sort of resets her a bit, and then I let her go on my command. So she's good at that, but she's not very good at walking on a leash at all. She just zigzag everywhere, sniff everything, pull at her leash as well.
She has separation anxiety, so things get chewed big time if we leave her.
Yeah.
She can escape her cage because she's too smart and too strong.
So
so the crate training is a little tricky.
Buttercup is here, her first day of training. She just arrived. She's very shy, and she's afraid of men, apparently. She doesn't have much leash training. Actually, no leash training. You can see she's really unconfident. Her tail is tucked between her legs. I don't know if she has a... Okay, come here, come on. If I can say down, she doesn't know what down means. If I say sit, she's not doing that for me, obviously. And obviously, if there's no down or sit, there's no stay either. If I say come, she runs away from me. So this is a good before video to show you that she really has no skills, and she has no confidence, or very little confidence. So we'll see what she's like when we're done. Sit. All right. I always have Buttercup sit at the front door. I have her wait. I step in. I step back. She waits till I come back next to her. I say, okay. She walks through with me. I don't allow her to pull me. If she does try to pull, I just do a little prompt like that. If you're by yourself, you have to do a little left turn. Always turn into her, never turn right. So always turn left so your body does all the work and the leash stays loose. The most you'll have to do is to do a little prompt if she's pulling, like so you're going like this, just little signals, kind of like tapping the brakes to slow her down. But I did a left turn so I can close the door. Okay, we're gonna launch straight into this mat exercise and show you how far we've gotten with her. Another left turn to have her sit and be pointing in the right direction. And then go to your mat. And she has a real problem with going into a down because she's so scared, and so she's a special case. Good. So we've done everything else with this exercise except for good. Have her go down. And so if you're going to try to get her to lie down, the best way to do it is to make sure she still waits. All those same rules apply. She waits until you good, put the reward on the mat, and then you withdraw and she takes it off the mat. Good. And this is usually what happens right before they go down. They start sitting instead of just standing there. Good. A lot of other dogs I can help learn that they want to go into a down position by just giving them putting a little bit of pressure on the leash like this. She'll get scared. See how that, if I would have doubled up and really kept that pressure, she'd just freak out. So we can't do it with her, but I just wanted to show you what she'll do. A lot of dogs will just decide to collapse because they want to relieve that uncomfortable pressure, and then as soon as they make the choice to collapse, giant payoff, and they start realizing, oh, when I'm in this position, good stuff happens. And then also you could do that, apply just a little bit of pressure, and with your other hand, you'd be over here next to her. With your other hand, you'd be kind of gently but firmly helping her go down into that position, but she can't handle that. She freaks out. So we've decided just to let this happen gradually and just take care of all the other parts of this exercise, which she pretty much has for the most part, like standing there. So you saw me, I had her sit, I sent her there, she stands there, you put the reward there, she waits until you put her on the mat to take it, and then you can start walking around her like this. And then always coming back in front and rewarding good, and walking around both sides. She's much better on her right side than her left. Just getting her used to you walking around both sides. Good. And she's going to be much more comfortable in your environment doing this than she is here. But in your environment, we already did this once, so you saw that she actually will allow me to walk all the way around her at your house, but not here, because in your house she's more comfortable. But this is how far we've gotten here. And I'll usually just do this for 5 minutes, and every time she breaks out of that, I just say no, and I put her back. I just lure her back into a straight position here on the mat to where she's supposed to be. Nope. Make sure she's in the middle of the mat and just keep her there. And so I would recommend that you keep doing this. See how I'm walking a little bit farther that time? If you keep doing this, because over time she's going to get better and better at it. And at your house, she'll at some point collapse into a down. The first day that she does that, you want to reward that big time. Timing is super important. As soon as she goes down into a down, big reward, so that she remembers, oh, if I go there, really good stuff happens. So you should be coming out this way so that when I walk over here, it's not blocked by the crate. So you can see how I'm going a little bit farther every time. And also, if you ever run into a problem with her not being able to handle something you've done, or you're doing on the mat, then give her an extra big pile of food, because that will desensitize her and allow her to handle you going farther around or whatever it is. Because while she's eating, she's going to be less reactive to whatever you're doing. That's how I've gotten her used to even walking on the side like that. Let's see how this is as far as we've gotten here, but I just wanted to show you what she's been doing here and how far we've gotten. And now this is how we would take her off the mat. Okay. Comes off the mat. Okay. And in this case, sit. We're going to put her outside again. Give her a little free time. Okay. Sit. I'm going to step out. Have her wait at the boundary. Step back. Okay. On the outside, have her sit. And then go, release her, and then she's free. Give her a free few moments. But I want to just tell you that she's a special case, because of course she came here extremely skittish and shy and scared, and now she's going to stare at us through the window and be cute. But I couldn't even touch her for 10 days, the first 10 days she was here. And so considering where she came from, she's doing way better for a normal dog, in quotes. This would be just the beginning, but so much of this project was just to build her up so she had enough confidence so that she could, I could touch her to teach her what sit meant, and doing the come and all the other stuff you're gonna see us doing in the other clips. It took, 4 or 5 weeks just to get her to this point, because I couldn't even touch her for a long time. So we had to go from there to where we're at now. So if you just continue doing all these things, she's going to keep getting better and better and better. But of course, this is about you continuing everything we've done here and just doing all this stuff every day, because with you, she's going to be, I think she's going to take off, because she's very comfortable with you and your environment, much more so than she is here. And when a dog's this way, usually they go back home and their owners keep doing this, and it gets way, way better. So I just want you to know that you just want to keep doing all this stuff, and she's going to keep getting better. I want to show you how we've been putting Buttercup into her crate and taking her out. Sit. So if you ever have a problem with her not being straight or kind of pulling away, do do that little left circle, turn into her, and then you'll be able to, when you come back around again, you'll be able to have her sit in the direction you want her to go. So when you open the door, make sure she's still sitting, but you're not restraining her, the leash is loose, and then with your right hand, go, send her in. And she doesn't know this crate, so see this? Go. I'm helping her make the right choice by sending her in. Of course, she goes in quite easily into your crate. Go. So once I helped her, see how she went in. The thing with a dog like Buttercup that's super scared and super unconfident to the point of being, I mean, I would call her semi-feral when she came here especially, is that anything that's new and unusual that she's never done before, she's going to get spooked and she's going to put on the brakes. And so her crate's been in a back bedroom and we've never practiced it here. It's one of the reasons why I do the video here, because showing how she is here is representative of her at her, pretty much at her worst, and like all the stuff I'm doing in the videos shows you me doing this training in situations that are the hardest for her. So if I'm able to do it, mistakes and all, then it's just going to be so much easier at your house. And these things that I'm doing, like if she ever has a problem going in the crate, you just saw how to do it. What I did was I tossed some rewards in there, and then I just kind of helped her a little bit, and she decided to go in the rest of the way. So I don't think you're going to have this problem at your house, but in case you do, that's how you get her into a crate where she doesn't really know what's going on. She's kind of afraid. That's how you do it. You're never going to be rough and tough with her. Everything's gentle but firm, and she'll respond to that. Once she's in, she loves her crate, and you can give her rewards. And I'm actually putting them farther back there because you don't want her sticking her head out. You want everything to happen inside. And then I'm going to take off her prong collar. You always take off her stuff when she's in the crate. Her prong collar hangs up right on the door. Her routine, her crate routine here has been meals in the crate, door always closed, because that's the power of the crate. You control her access in and out. You control this boundary, the boundary to her den. Dogs are naturally den animals, so for her, that's a safe, cozy place. Everything good happens in there. That's where she eats. That's where she gets chewies and bones and all kinds of good stuff. Every time she goes in, she gets a reward. We take off her collar, close the door. Every time we go in, she gets a reward. We put it on, we bring her out. So it's all good stuff in there. All good associations. Never throw her in there don't use it as a punishment. You're not going to throw her in there when you're mad, but I mean, it's all positive stuff. It's not a punishment. It's a happy place for her. So we get to control this boundary. We get to change her perception of us by controlling her in and out throughout the day. Here, she sleeps in overnight. She's in and out of this crate 6 times a day. And lots of time out free in the yards, but also lots of time in there. So back and forth, back and forth. That's her whole routine. It's a lot more structure. A dog like this needs a lot of structure. And of course, she sits and waits every time. You don't have her sit in there, but you do have her wait until you allow her to come out. You can't reinforce any training like a sit or down in there. You can't get in there, but do make sure she waits. I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is just a really big part of it. I mean, the more structure you give her, the more confident she's going to get, the more places in her life that she has to focus and think and remember the rules, the more, focus and thinking and trying to remember all these little rules builds up a dog's tolerance to stress, because you're engaging her mind every time you do something like that. And see, I didn't give her a treat. Good, there's a treat for you. Usually it's a treat first, then you put on the collar. And anytime she's thinking, that's developing her mind, and when you develop the mind, it makes her more immune to stressful situations, and that's what she needs. So she's waiting at the boundary, and she's waiting for me to say, okay, and come out. And I'm just going to do a little step into her thing, close this door because this is always closed, so she can never feel free to go in or out because you control that. She needs your permission. Okay, and then we're going to go outside again, sit, and it's always this way, just yet another way that you guys control boundaries, which makes the dog feel like you're the boss and feel safe with you and feel like somebody else is taking care of her and she doesn't have to worry. She obviously really needs that message more so than a lot of dogs. Okay, and then walks through with you like that, and on the outside, sit, and see how she'll kind of go, her butt will go out. I always do this circle, sort of make sure she sits straight. See how much better that is? And then go, and she's free, and then you can take the leash off and give her some free time, or in your case, you'll let her have some free time, but don't take the leash off because you don't have a yard, so just let her have some free time after you've gone through the boundaries. Sit. See how I'm rewarding her? Good. Eye contact, straight down. It may seem like a little thing, but it's really important. It's important that you're not doing this, and then she's eating out of the trough that comes down from the sky or the giant hand, and it's not really related to looking you in the eye. It seems like a little thing, but it is really important. It's one of those things that there's a lot of little things in this training that turns it from being mediocre to being extra good because of just the little things we're doing, like more eye contact. There's eye contact when you give her a reward, in a sit at least, it's really easy to do. She's going to be more focused on you in general and taking you more seriously. And so, as you can see, sit means to stay. I don't use stay, we just teach her that she stays until she's released. So, and also we never repeat a command, so if she didn't sit that first time, I would not have repeated it, I just would have pulled up with a little bit of pressure like that. So you're not jerking, popping, hanging, it's just pressure, her butt would hit the ground, and you release. And you're not pulling up like this, trying it and releasing, trying and releasing. It's just steady, confident, pressure, very consistent, her butt hits the ground, you release it. All she knows is she heard it once and she ended up going there. That's why more and more you won't even have to do that. She's got a really good sit. So, and the stay, she knows to wait there until she's released. There's two ways to release her, either to walk with you and continue on walking next to you in training mode, or to pat her chest and say, go, and then she's free, goes out in front of you. In this case, I'm gonna have her walk with me. Okay. With the recall command, she's doing it for me most of the time. As you know, when she came in, she was very scared, and I couldn't even touch her. We had to have a leash attached to her when she was out loose so that I could step on the leash and get her and bring her back inside. She was much better with the girls, the women that work for me, but always afraid of me. Like, I know she's afraid of the man in the family as well. And that's pretty common that these super scared dogs, insecure dogs, are afraid of men more than women. It's extremely common. But she's much better now, as you can see, and she can do most things with me. But the recall, the come command, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so we're going to show you where we're at today. She's already on free time, but just so she knows that she's going to go somewhere, I'm going to pat her chest and say go. So she's over there, left hand leash, right hand reward, come! And she's coming to me. Good. See how she touched my right hand, it opened, she got the reward. And if I was going to get her back on the clock, I just step into her and say sit. We'll do that again. Go. Left hand leash when you're going to call her back to you. When she's on free time, this is the way you walk her. Right hand, she's got the reward in it, make sure you make a fist. Come! And if she doesn't, you just reinforce that recall with the leash. Good. And see how everything happens at once. The good, the reward, you grab the leash with your left hand because then you have her, you can step into her, sit, get her back on the clock. You're never repeating the command. What you may or may not have seen was that she hesitated right after I said the command, and so I just did this, just a little, it was like a little prompt like that, and she turned around, saw me backing away, because that's the way you do it. You want to back away whenever you can because it makes the dog rush to you. So that recall is going to be a lot better if you practice in that way, because every time you say come, she ends up rushing to you because of what you do with your body, backing away. So in a real life situation, when your back is to a wall or whatever, because you practice in this way on a leash and it happens the same way every time, you're likely to have the same recall. She's going to turn around and run back to you because that's what happens every time because of how you've been practicing it. And there's a reward there in this target hand when you're practicing. But in real life situation, you're not going to have food, so you just pretend like you have it. She'll come every time. And even now, she'll come so many times because we've done this so many hundreds of times at this point in the last month or so, that she just knows she wants to come to this. Something good happens. And she's more comfortable with you than she is with me, so it'll even be better with you. But this is exactly how you practice it, step by step. Left hand leash, right hand reward, target hand, backing away. Oh, the other thing is, when you're practicing, always practice calling her away from something. Never call her to come to you when she's staring at you, like looking at you. That's not going to be a real life situation. A real life situation is she's noticing something, she's maybe moving towards it, away from you. She hears the command, she stops, she turns around and comes running back to you. So at the very least, always practice calling her when she's looking away so she can hear the command, turn back and come back to you. Okay, sit. We're approaching the new person with Buttercup, and Buttercup does not know her. We practice this every day with different people, so she knows the routine. So I stepped away from her, I had her sit, she stayed there, I stepped away, I gave the person a little treat. When I send her over, you're gonna just give it to her and don't pet her yet, and I'm gonna call her back to come. So go say hi. She takes the treat from the new person, I say come. Call her back to me. Good. Just like we practice the recall. And then I step into her. Sit. If she doesn't sit, just a little bit of pressure, make sure she goes there. Step away, give the new person another treat. Come back to her, right hand at her chest. Go say hi. Takes another treat. Come. We're just going to do it 3 times. Good. See how I'm doing it? So simple. Step into her, she'll help you. She knows this routine. Sit. And then you can add, especially if you're just doing it with each other or family members, people that she knows really well, you can add little things like a little sit stay just to test her focus, because it's harder for her obviously to stay there longer. If you do a little sit stay and then send her over. Go. And you can pet her, see if you can pet her a little bit. That's good. Great. Come. See how she got kind of nervous? Good. So with her, if she seems uncomfortable, call her back right away. Just the fact that, sit. Just the fact that she's approaching a new person, something really good is happening. That person, like that was, if this was a real life thing, I just wouldn't have had her pet her yet. I just didn't know. I thought maybe it would work okay. It was fine, but she's still a little bit scared. So I'd wait a little bit longer. Just let her go up to people and accept a gift, and then you call her back to come. This routine, she knows very well. She'll feel really safe because she knows exactly how it's going to go. And you can start plugging in new people in this spot because she knows the routine, especially if she does it with people she knows a lot too. The only thing that's different is you plug a new person in, and it's enough for her to be able to handle it because she knows how it's going to go, even if that person is brand new and she doesn't know the person. All she does is go over, accept a gift, you call her back to come. In her mind, you're orchestrating this whole thing. And telling her to sit and wait and sending her over, calling her back. You have a treat on this side too. It's just a great little way to practice her confidence with new people. And you won't have to do this forever. It's different for every really shy dog like her. But at some point, she's going to see a new person and get really happy because new people, she plays that game with new people, and so you won't have to be doing this greeting routine for her whole life, but for a while it would really help to just keep doing it until she's no longer shy, or at least she gets to a level that you're happy with where she's not super scared of new people.